You're smart, you're motivated, you want to do something big. You're on the verge of being a young boss, and we're going to help you get there. I'm your host, Isabelle Guarino, and welcome to the Young Boss Podcast, where youth is your power. Everything is figure-outable. This week's guest jump-started their career by cold messaging Gary Vee on LinkedIn, parlayed that into a C-suite role with the real-life Jerry Maguire, and is now helping other business professionals create a meaningful and strategic network. We talk about why giving more is the key to success, why LinkedIn is the most powerful social platform, and how to create vending machines for your clients. This week, we welcome co-founder of the Nucleus Network, Jake Fleshner. You're listening to Young Boss with Isabelle Guarino. Let's dive in. I'm so excited to have you here as our guest today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. How old are you first?
I'm 27.
27.
I love that we're starting with age. It's perfect.
I know. Well, You are super successful and in your 20s, and I think that's amazing. So let's talk about it. What led you to where you are today?
I think going back to age, just talking about it, I think age is just a number. Before the show, we were talking about you trying to bring in under 35.
Yes.
But at the same time, you can be 40, 50, 60 and still have the mentality of a 20 and 25-year-old.
Absolutely.
But where I've been able to get to today, I think it's from consistency and knowing the right people.
Yeah.
So if you surround yourself with the right people, eventually you'll end up being like them. So thank God I've had incredible mentors in my life.
I love that.
I've been able to surround myself with amazing people that are both younger than me, my age and older. And I think that's how I've been able to get to where I am. Amazing.
Tell us about, you used to work with Gary Vee.
I did.
Tell us about that. He's like the young boss king over there.
He really is. That's someone like that. Like I don't want to say his age, but he's up there.
He's up there, but he's so youthful.
So youthful. He has the most energy of anyone I know.
Yes.
He is always trying to give back. I think that's really important as well. But yeah, I mean, going back to my younger years, I grew up in LA.
Yeah.
I loved sports. I loved entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. So the one person that really I looked up to was Gary Vee.
Yeah.
So I cold messaged him on LinkedIn.
No.
And I said, I want to work for you. And next thing you know, he put me in touch with his chief heart officer, Claude Silver.
Yeah.
Shout out Claude. She is one of a kind.
Okay.
And I flew to New York while I was in college. I met with her. We became very close. Next thing you know, I'm interning for him.
What?
It's crazy. The power of LinkedIn, which we'll talk about. But so I kind of just surrounded myself with Claude and their team. I took an internship my junior year of college.
Yeah.
And I helped on the sports and entertainment side of Gary Vee.
Okay.
I got in with the basketball game over there. So I started playing basketball. We started getting close. I kind of got close to his network.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I was kind of helping out on all fronts with Gary Vee.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What was your biggest takeaway from that experience?
I think the power of a personal brand. Like, look at what you're doing with your show and your podcast.
Yeah.
I think how I found you was online.
Yeah.
And people want to buy from people and not from brands.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest lesson I learned from that.
That has been a huge shift that I have seen over the last couple of years is people are anti-brands right now. They're about connecting with the person,
right?
Which leads us into like LinkedIn, which I know that you have a lot of experience in and is a really exciting social media format for you. So talk to me about that because it does go hand in hand with building your personal brand.
Definitely. There's so many social media sites out there.
Yeah.
I think when you think social media, you think LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
Yep.
The easiest way that I've seen to get in touch with the right people is through LinkedIn. Because on TikTok, you can post a reel. It can get 1 like or 1 view or 1 million.
Yep.
You never really know. And with LinkedIn, if some of your friends or the people in your network interact with you, then their friends are seeing it as well. So it's the chain effect that has really been very successful for both myself and my clients that I've really seen bring to life. So
wow.
Yeah.
And it is more of a, specifically for an entrepreneur, it is the more business friendly of all the social medias.
Yeah.
So when you're trying to connect on a professional level, that does make the most sense. Like you're saying, oh, I cold reached out to him, but on LinkedIn. You didn't do it on TikTok, which I'm sure he gets millions of messages a day.
For sure.
What that kind of set you apart from reaching out in a more professional medium.
With LinkedIn too, you can see who views your profile.
Yeah.
Which other social media sites don't have.
Yeah.
And with life, it's all about getting people at the right time.
Yep.
And I guess I got lucky. And he answers every DM by himself.
Wow.
Everyone. I don't know if he's doing everyone now, but when I reached out to him, he was.
Yeah.
And he personally answered. And he said, come to New York. and we'll see what's possible.
That is amazing. Yeah. Okay, I have some stats here about LinkedIn.
Okay.
It says 49% of LinkedIn users earn $75K or more yearly. So to me, that means we're seeing a bit more of a professional level of person. It's not just everyone and their mom who has a Facebook and an Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Which already would set people apart if you're trying to network there and you're going for a certain caliber of person, then you're already targeting the right person just by choosing the right platform. Mm-hmm. Okay, it says 97% of HR and recruiting departments use LinkedIn. Do you find that to be true?
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Yeah.
It's the number one B2B channel that marketers use to distribute content.
That's surprising.
I think so too.
Yeah.
One of the most interesting ones. The largest age group is 25 to 34, making up over 60% of its user base.
Which is who you want on your podcast.
It's who I want on the podcast.
It's perfect.
But it's also great for networking because you're right there at that age bracket where everybody's kind of like doing their thing. And also to me, that age bracket is telling us that they're looking for jobs. I always think of LinkedIn as I'm looking for a new job. What else should it be being used for?
I think it should be about more giving. Social media is all about taking. What I've seen now, 99% of creators are just taking. Here's my course. Here's my this. Here's my podcast. Listen, do this, do this.
Yeah.
I think there's a huge opportunity, especially on LinkedIn, to give more. So with that in mind, 6 weeks ago, I was sitting at our office in Santa Monica.
Okay.
I looked at my business partner. I said, let's just give more. Yeah. Why don't we find a way to do a giveaway every week that's giving back to our community? So I made a LinkedIn status. I said, keep reading if you like coffee. The first 5 people to like it, I'll send you a Starbucks gift card. 5 people commented within 5 seconds. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Like, let's give more. So 10, 15, 20, 50. Yeah. I ended up giving away 100 gift cards to Starbucks. Okay. And it's been every week, every Wednesday, I put it out. And now we have partners that we bring together. And A, it's amazing for growth on LinkedIn. Yeah. B, everyone wants to give, right? Yes. Everyone wants coffee. Yeah. And C, I mean, it's really keeping our community engaged. Yeah. And that's where I think LinkedIn, it's the biggest opportunity now, especially for 25 to 34. Yeah. Because they're the most active and engaged on the platform.
Yeah. Okay, tell me about strategic introductions, because that is what you are known for. So tell us all about that.
Yeah, of course. So everyone likes a good intro, right?
Yes.
We were talking before the show, podcasts in the area. Yeah. I think there's 3 types of introductions. Okay. The first is the cold intro. Yeah. So a LinkedIn DM. Okay. And then one of your friends connects you to that LinkedIn DM. That's a cold intro because they don't really know one side. They know one of the 2 sides. Okay. The second one is a warm intro. So I know both sides, but I don't know if they'll necessarily like each other. So if A needs B, I know B can help A, but I don't know if they'll like each other as humans. Yeah. And then the last one, which is what the Nucleus Network, what we do, which I'm sure we'll talk about, is we specialize in figuring out what people are like, what you like to do, what you don't like to do, and then connecting you to those individuals and actually being on the call from a warm intro. So we're like the next level. So even if you don't do business together, we just want to connect you to people that will actually like each other as humans at the end of the day.
How does someone join?
Good question. We're still working on the vetting process, which has been great. Give you a little bit more background too, which I think will help. Right after graduating Michigan, I started a company while I was at Michigan called Spade Trade. Okay. And it actually sold to the university. So I got a good start in entrepreneurship. Wow. And I realized connecting people is the name of the game. Yeah. Your network is your net worth. That's what people care about. Yes. So I worked for someone named David Meltzer, you've probably heard of him before. He was the real life Jerry Maguire. Yes. And I was his right-hand man for 5 years. Amazing. So it was pretty incredible. It was an amazing opportunity. I'm forever grateful for Dave.
That is so cool.
He's on top of it. He's someone I definitely look up to. Yeah. And while I was there, I realized that if you can connect 2 great people together or 2 great companies, there will always be value in the marketplace. Yeah. Did you build Spade Trade to sell it? Yes. You were planning to sell? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Talk to me about that, because exiting a business is a big deal, and you were in college? I was in college. That's amazing. And I started with my brother too. Congratulations. So, thank you so much. Okay, so tell me about that. How did you come up with the idea, and how did you know, and did you have an idea of when you were going to sell? I didn't know when I was going to sell. Okay. And I think entrepreneurs go into businesses wanting to sell, but not knowing when, which is how I did it. My brother and I walked into our favorite local restaurant, what was that, like 10 years ago? Uh-huh. And we realized that there was a need for that local restaurant to work with a local barbershop in the area for everyone to cross promote what they were doing. So we made an app, which is a whole nother story. Building an app is no joke.
A beast.
Yeah.
Yes.
And basically we brought it to the University of Michigan, where you'd walk into your local favorite restaurant. You would take your phone out. You would scan a mobile barcode that was actually in the store.
Yeah.
And then you'd get a discount to the other restaurant.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And there was no one doing it at the time, which whatever it was. And eventually we were like, okay, this is traction. We have 50 businesses that are on the platform.
Yeah.
I was studying abroad in Australia at the time.
Okay.
And I got a call from one of our other co-founders that said, can't do this anymore. We have too many employees, too much overhead.
Yeah.
What do we do?
Yeah.
And as an entrepreneur, you figure it out.
Yep.
So we made some calls.
Yep.
University of Michigan liked the product. And next thing you know, it was sold. So,
that is so cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That is awesome. From a business owner perspective, what is your strategy for building businesses? Are you like, let's go balls to the walls, go super fast? Or do you like to be more methodical and slow?
What do you like? I want to hear from you first. Yeah.
I would say I want things done yesterday. Okay. So I like to go fast, but I understand that things take time. So I try to give reasonable, fast deadlines.
Reasonable fast. If it's reasonable, would you rather it be done before, or is it okay if it's done later but better?
I think I want it done on the time. Okay. I want it done. I'm less of a perfectionist, more of a let's just get it done. Let's see. But efficiency is one of my core values. Like with everything in life, I'm like, how can we do this the fastest? Fast and focused is
what are your other core values? I'm curious.
How can I make it work? Okay. So like thinking outside the box, always having a fun attitude, right? I think that life can always be fun, even on your shittiest day. Like you can be fun, being committed. If you're going to do something, don't do anything unless you're going to like be committed and actually go for it. And in work, being knowledgeable. Like I don't like fake it to make it. I'm like, you should know your shit. Like why are people out here just like, peddling off stuff that they only know little bits about? Like, you should know it.
How do you not fake it till you make it if you want to be efficient? I'm curious how those go hand in hand.
Well, being knowledgeable. So when you teach yourself, when you take the second to teach yourself, right, then you can go faster because you now know what you're doing. But I think efficiency is more like, if you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't have signed up and allowed me to give you the deadline.
I love that.
To begin with, right? You should know what you're doing.
So you have to have confidence.
You have to have confidence. Yeah. Okay, so tell me.
Yeah.
Build businesses fast or slow?
Fast.
Fast.
Yes.
Okay.
Everything is figure outable.
Okay,
That's one of our taglines. And at the end of the day, nothing matters.
Yeah.
So you might as well just go try it. Not to have meetings. That's how we built this business, actually, with what we're doing now. Yeah. We kind of just had the idea and the concept, and we just went out and built it.
It's very entrepreneur of you, right? Very visionary of you.
The same way.
Go for it.
The same way. You have to be.
If you think too much, you're going to have analysis paralysis, and you're just going to get stuck in all the details, and it will never come to fruition, truly. I know a million people who have so many great ideas, and they've created nothing in their life. And sometimes it takes the other person, because all they are is an idea person, and they need to partner with the other person.
Yes.
Which is fair. But other people just their whole life, I've got this great business idea over and over and over again and nothing to show for it. It's like
a lot of talking, not a lot of action.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not easy.
It's not easy.
And moving from working a job to starting a company is one of the hardest things you'll do.
Yes. So you have a lot of experience owning and operating businesses. Did you ever technically like work for anyone else?
Yeah, I worked for David Meltzer, which I was going a little bit into detail. So after I graduated college, I worked for David.
Okay.
So my mom runs a company called the Female Quotient. Yeah. It's the biggest female empowerment company in the world.
Amazing.
Yeah. So that's kind of my background of how I got into entrepreneurship.
I love it.
She's a superwoman, but I was at one of her conferences in South by Southwest when I was in college, my senior year.
Yeah. And
Gary Vee spoke, and then someone named David Meltzer walked in with two huge NFL players. And at the time, I didn't really know what I was doing after school. And I saw this guy come in, this like small Jewish guy, and I was like, whoever that is, I want to work for him.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I walked up to him.
Yeah.
I said, I'll do whatever it takes. I'm graduating college in 5 months. Put me anywhere. I'll fly anywhere. You don't have to pay me.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, just come intern for me when you're done with school.
Yeah.
So that's a lesson for young entrepreneurs. Find someone you want to be like and emulate, and just find a way to work for them.
And go
find
for
a way
it.
to be close.
Yeah.
And right after school, I moved to Orange County.
Okay.
And I worked alongside him for 3 months. He saw some potential in me. He's like, you're not an intern. You're going to come and be the head of partnerships.
Awesome.
And I said, okay, whatever it takes, I'll be there. Next thing you know, I'm flying around the world for the next 5 years, having a team of about 10 people.
Amazing.
I ended as the chief revenue officer, so overseeing all of our sponsorships, our partnerships, and basically being like Dave's agent, his speaking agent. So it was great. I think everyone needs to work under someone in order to really realize how you want to be as a leader and how you actually want to treat your employees and your people.
Yeah.
And about 9 months ago, everything was amazing. As I mentioned, had a lot of people on my team.
Yeah.
I had 3 phones. I was juggling everything.
Yeah.
And I kind of just did the introspection game where I was like, it's time to go on my own and be an entrepreneur again, not an intrapreneur.
Okay.
And I decided to take the leap.
Okay. They told me that there's a little more to that story, that you were like abroad, phone off, which is unheard of.
You're the same way, right? It's
right.
Tough.
So you just literally disconnected.
Yeah. Disconnected.
And it came
for 4
to
days.
you.
It did. I was on a boat. Overlooking at the sunset. And it was like, it's time. It's time to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you traveling with friends? Were you alone?
I was with 30 of my friends.
Oh, okay. A lot of friends.
Yeah, a lot of friends. And actually one of my friends who we've been business partners in a couple of different ventures.
Yeah.
He was alongside me. And we're co-founders now.
That's amazing.
So it started on a boat.
Hey you, why waste time scrolling through social media when you could be learning how to raise capital, manage a team, and be a boss? It's time to level up and hit that subscribe button for the Young Boss Podcast. Now, back to the show.
There is a thread I'm seeing. Your mom has a networking group. You then, help all these people network, whether it's Gary Vee, whether it's David, all these different things in your life, and now starting a business to help other people network. How important is networking?
Yeah. I mean, it's everything.
It's everything.
That's why we're here right now.
Yes.
Whatever you need in life, you can get based on who you know.
What do you have to say to listeners who are like, yeah, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid to go talk to people. Or what do I say when I talk to them?
What's there to be afraid of? That's the start. If you don't ask, you'll never get. A closed hand never gets fed. And I think it's the classic adage. Everyone always says, you probably heard this growing up, you have to give in order to receive. But I actually think it's the other way. I think you have to receive something in order for you to give. So unless you're asking, that's the only way that you'll get in order to give to the world. And I feel like you're the same way. So,
No, it's so true. And I think that for a lot of people that it is this, like, they're just so scared of, well, what if I get the no? Or what if I look like a fool? Who cares? The next person might say yes. You just got to keep asking.
It's asking.
Keep going for it.
Every no is closer to a yes.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, 100%. I say that even to like my single friends when they're like, oh, it was another shitty date. Like that guy sucked. And I'm like, okay, but the next one could be it. Like, just keep going. Like, it's a numbers game. Everything in life is a numbers game.
It is. You have to experience it.
You have to just keep pushing. So I think that that's amazing. What are 3 tactical tips for entrepreneurs that you think are really important?
Like we talked about, utilize LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So undervalued.
Yep.
If you need, go find a LinkedIn coach and they can explain.
There's LinkedIn coaches.
Oh, yeah. I know the best of the best. His name's Corey Warfield. Okay. Shout out Corey.
Okay.
He will take your LinkedIn to the next level. He tells you when to post, what to post, who to interact with.
Yeah.
And he's helped a lot of people in the Nucleus Network.
Okay.
That's A. B, like we talked about, like keep asking.
Yeah.
Ask. You don't need to do it on your own. There's people there to help you.
Yep.
Join the right groups and be around the right people and build a personal brand. I wouldn't over utilize a personal brand. I know Gary Vee always says post 5-6 times a day on every social media channel. That is amazing. But if you get so busy building a personal brand and you forget to do what's important, which is building a business or making money or helping your family, then what are you doing it for?
Yes. Yeah. I could see that. Okay. I heard that you dabble with vending machines. Something about vending machines.
Yeah, vending machines. Yeah. No, you're good. I do like vending machines. My friend actually runs a vending machine company.
Does he?
Yeah.
Makes a killing?
He makes a killing.
We got to have him on.
He's young. He's 25.
Good. I want him.
Okay.
I want him. I hear that it's like one of the more lucrative, unsexy businesses.
It is, but people want vending machines. Everyone needs a snack. It's not about snacks. It's the like vapes.
Vapes?
Yeah, vape vending machines, the future.
Where do you put those?
College campuses.
Oh my God, I was going to say
By the way, I don't vape, and I definitely don't support vaping, by the way, just FYI. But that's where it is.
Oh my God. Is there any limitation on where you can't put those? Do you know?
I don't know the answer for you.
Okay.
I think you need Ethan on the show.
I really want to ask him that because I want to know, like, are you not allowed to put it at a junior high? Like, you shouldn't.
I hope not. I hope not. I don't know. Once again, I don't support vapes.
Yes, but he would make a killing. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. That's too funny.
So vending machines, I think the vending machine aspect is when you're doing anything, you want to be able to put something in and get something back. So let's say you put $1 into Facebook ads.
Yeah.
And you set up a vending machine where if you put in $1, you're getting $5 back in ROI. Our goal of the Nucleus Network is when we're making an introduction for you, we want to know that you're getting a certain amount of ROI back. So we're trying to build vending machines for individuals in order for them to get to the next level through introductions.
Who's the right person to join the Nucleus Network?
Yeah, and I know you asked about the vetting process.
Yeah.
So when we first started this company, because of what I did in the past, and my business partner, Michael Axman, he was doing startup consulting for businesses, connecting them to VCs and angel investors and family offices. When we came out with the announcement on LinkedIn, hundreds of people reached out to us saying, hey, can I join the Nucleus Network?
Yeah.
And being who we both are, we love to give, of course. Yeah. We said, yeah, everyone can join.
Right.
And we didn't really do a good job of vetting.
Okay.
So we were making introductions, but people weren't communicating effectively. They didn't have the best product or service. And they just weren't a good fit for the Nucleus Network. So we actually went back and we had to move some stuff around and take people out. So now our vetting process is you get on the phone with myself and my partner, Michael. If you're not in our network already, we get to know you a little bit more. What do you do? What do you offer? And what are you looking for? And then we start trying to make 2 to 3 introductions right after the call. Wow. So if you tell me you're an accountant and you're looking for this type of person, we try to introduce you to those people right after our call, just to start. So that's our vetting process.
Yeah. Who is the right person to join it? Is it someone who's looking for business?
We're everybody's agent.
Everybody's agent?
We're everybody's agent. So
okay,
you're a podcast host.
Okay, yeah.
Wouldn't it be great to have someone that was looking for guests for you?
Yeah.
But then also looking for sponsors. But then also you can also call to say, hey, I want to go on other podcasts also.
Okay.
So we set up this business where the athletes, the celebrities, they all have agents. They have someone that they can call that they can say, hey, I want sponsorship deals or I want to speak more.
Yeah.
But they also have that person that they can call for if they need a graphic designer, if they need other things. So we set up this company to be an agent for accountants, podcast hosts, real estate agents. So to answer your question, we're extremely broad. Yeah. We have the GoPuffs of the world, GoPuff, Lululemon, Weight Watchers are all our clients.
Okay.
All the way down to like a local trainer in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Just bringing them needs, bringing them what they need, and then bringing them leads.
So all of our listeners should try to join.
I would love to talk to anybody.
Because if they own a business, I'm sure that they have a problem that you can help solve. And if you're basically a business person's agent, that is an amazing tool that I don't think that exists right now.
We haven't found it. Of course, there's
masterminds exist, but you have to go join. You have to make all the connections. You have to be the one to do it, to be able to call you and say, this is what I'm looking for. Do you have anybody? Even if you don't, you're like, let me go find them.
Yes. And then
that's amazing.
Someone that we know in our network probably knows someone that knows someone there.
Yeah.
And it goes back to going to events, right? You show up to an event, you show up to a mastermind.
Yeah.
Most of the time you have a certain type of criteria that you're looking for. So you're looking for this amount of person that has this amount of money or this kind of capital that you're looking to work with.
Yeah.
What if there was a company like us that you can call and say, hey, I don't want to go to this event. Who can you put me in touch with instead of going to the event? So that's why companies are coming to us.
Yeah.
They don't want to waste all this time and money going to all these places where they can just call a one-stop shop that has all the most credible, viable people to talk to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got something to talk to you about this for.
Sure.
I need your help.
Okay, I'm in. I'm here to help.
Okay, I want to ask you quick fire questions. Okay. How many connections do you have on LinkedIn?
24,000.
Wow. Who's your biggest role model?
Can I have 2?
Yeah.
My mom, my dad.
Oh.
Yeah.
I bet your mom is really proud of you.
She's the best. I'm proud of her.
She's amazing.
She's got to come on the show.
She does.
Okay.
I'll make an exception.
Deal.
What's one podcast everyone needs to listen to?
This podcast.
There you go. What's one book everyone needs to read?
Ooh, so many. Shoe Dog.
Shoe Dog. I've read that one.
What do you think?
It's a good one.
It's a good one.
My partner's really into basketball, and so he's like, you got to read this one. I was like, fine. And I really only read business books. I read it. I was like, this was a business book. You tricked me.
Okay.
It is a good one. Okay. What's the craziest business idea or pitch you've ever heard?
Craziest that I liked or craziest that I thought was just too crazy?
Too crazy.
Too crazy? Oh man. I heard a crazy one that I really liked. We're talking about sports. It's a basketball and a football with a speaker in it. So
when you're throwing it, the music is moving?
Yeah.
That's actually pretty cool.
It's an amazing company. It's crazy though. It's different.
Oh, it exists?
It exists. His name is Nima. It's a cool company.
How does the speaker not get broken as you're throwing it?
I don't know the answer for you.
Okay, we got to ask him.
Craziest idea, business idea? Surfboards that you can surf when you're on the moon. I got pitched that once. He built a surfboard that you can surf on the moon.
How does he know it works?
He doesn't. It's a great idea though.
Okay, what is the biggest misconception about being a business owner?
That it's all sunshine and rainbows. That every day is perfect.
Yeah.
And that you're making money right away.
Oh yeah.
And you have time. And the work-life balance. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as work-life balance, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If you're starting a business, you're going to work more than
you're going to give up a lot.
You're doing life.
Yeah.
But if you love what you do, you're living life.
Yes. Yes. I say that all the time. We've talked about sacrifices in business on the show, and it's like people really need to consider that before they get into business. Like, what sacrifices are you truly willing to make? Because if you are not, you don't know what sacrifice you're going to make. That's the other thing. You may say, oh, I'm willing to give up some time with friends. That might not be the thing that actually goes away. Right. What goes away might be something way over there that you didn't realize. So you need to be open that things are going to change.
How many children do you have, by the way?
One. Yes.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He's 5 months now. So
what's his name?
Hendrix.
Hendrix.
Like Jimmy. Yeah. In regards, once I had him, prior to having him, I was fine working sun up to sundown. I didn't care. Even through my entire pregnancy, I travel 33 weeks out of the year. I film twice a week pretty much, which for being a girl means you have to be in full glam twice a week, right?
It's not easy. Not easy. Yeah.
So it was a lot. But once I had him, I was like, okay, my priorities shifted. And now when he wakes up from his little, evening nap and I get my time with him before bed, when I am in town, that is it. My phone is away. My computer is away. I am 100% present with him because there's nothing more important in the world than that. Wow. And when I'm out of town, I'm out of town. I grew up with a dad who traveled for work and everyone's like, isn't that going to ruin your relationship with your kid? I'm like, no. Whatever you raise the kid in, it's normal for them. It was normal for me to have a dad who was home 2 days a week. I didn't think anything of it. It didn't mean he loved me any less. He called me every night.
Yeah.
So I call him every night and that's the start to our relationship, Things
real.
Could change in the future.
Yeah.
But before him, I was willing to work so much and I lost friends. I got a divorce, so many things happened. Now I'm like, I have my priorities and he is number one and work is number two. So the time I get with him, it is him, and then the whole rest of the time it could be backbreaking work, whatever it needs to be.
That was a beautiful answer.
But I think
it goes back to efficiency too, like you said.
Yes.
Now you know that you have a certain amount of time to get what you have to get done and you get it done in that time.
You get it done.
Yeah.
And that's why I actually love work from home. I know everyone during COVID, it was hard for them to make that transition. I've pretty much always worked from home.
Is this home, by the way?
No,
okay.
This is just a home we own. But
I like this home.
Yes, this is a good home. But I think when it's work from home, you really get to learn work-life balance, that there is no work-life balance. But also, to me, the beauty of it is if I'm in between meetings, I can go do a load of laundry, right? I can go get a quick workout in on the Peloton and come back. And it's just making it work. You just have to make your life work. There is no balance. It's just knowing that there's ebbs and flows, right? And some days it will be way more work and you won't get in that laundry and Peloton. And other days you get in all of that and more,
Exactly.
It's whatever you want it to be. Okay, what's the biggest failure or mistake you've made in business?
I think my biggest mistake is trusting people too much. There's the people that they vet and then they trust. And I'm the type of person where I trust you right away and then I vet you. So I've gone through the ringer. I've seen it, but it's all part of the process. And what I was doing before with David, but also more importantly now, because it's my business, I am getting better at learning who to trust and when to trust them.
Yeah. It is hard, actually.
There's so much out there.
There's so many bad people who...
Yeah. I don't know if bad's the right word. I think good and bad is all in your head.
Yes.
I think everyone at the end of the day wants to be good.
Yeah.
They just have intentions that seem bad. Especially in business, I think at the end of the day, there's people who are very money hungry that just want to get to the next level and rise the ranks and clout chase. And I try to avoid those type of people, but you never really know.
You don't. You don't. It can be sad or scary, we should say, a little bit. Has youth been an advantage or disadvantage in your career?
The biggest advantage.
Tell us.
Yeah. Being young is what does young mean? I know we talked about that.
Yeah.
Because everyone's getting older every day.
Yeah.
But with David, I was always the youngest in the room.
Yeah.
I was getting dinner with Michael Jordan and Michael Phelps and, some of the biggest names in the world.
Yeah.
And my calling card, why they wanted to talk to me, was because I was young. I would say, you've paid the dummy tax. You've learned all these lessons. Being a 22, 23, 24-year-old, what can I do to not make the same mistakes that you have?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Everyone older wants to teach the younger generation. Like you as a parent, you want to teach your kid everything that you've learned.
Yes.
And I think that's been the biggest deal breaker.
I love that. And I say that all the time. I'm like, never be afraid to walk in the room and be the youngest one, because it is your biggest advantage. No one wants to give the brand new 60-year-old business tips if they're brand new into business, but they're older. Everyone's like, oh, they know what they're doing. When a young person walks in, whether or not you have experience or not, they just want to give you advice and tips, and they want to help you just because you look younger, or like maybe you're open to it, or that you don't have experience. You may have had tons of experience and they wouldn't know, but they're willing to talk to you because they're like, I wish someone would have done that when I was your age, So I think it's such an advantage and something that people need to lean more into.
How do people lean more into it though? That's
don't be afraid to be that young person. Like, get into the room, because I think this is what happens. Young people in business, they go into the mastermind that only has other young people. They don't go into the mastermind where everyone around them is 50 years old, 60 years old.
Because they want to look like everyone else.
Yes.
Yes.
And it becomes a drinking event, which, let's be real, right? A lot of these younger masterminds, they are just like, let's meet up at a bar and drink.
Definitely, let's take shots and let's not remember anything.
The events I go to, they're also drinking, right? The older people. So it is that, but if you are there for the reason of business, they're actually so willing to help you and willing to give you that, like, hey, let me support you, versus everybody, when you go to a group where everyone looks like you, everyone acts like you.
Yeah.
Are you elevating? Maybe there's a couple people in there who will help you. But I think it's so, you said in the beginning, surrounding yourself with the right people, young, old, men, women, experienced, unexperienced, all of it helps you. So being well-rounded is important too.
That's why the show is important with what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because it gives younger people the platform to share their experiences. And I think the younger generation is, of course, they're scrolling a lot, always scrolling.
Yeah.
That they don't have a chance to actually tell their own story. And a podcast is a great way to do that, where you can't fake anything when you're on a show. You can't edit this to make it your own, because it's live.
Yeah.
We're talking live, we're talking real life.
Yep.
And if the younger generation has more of those opportunities, I think that's what will eventually advance us.
I think so. I love it. Okay, what does being a young boss mean to you?
A young boss. Yeah.
You've sold businesses. You've done amazing things.
Not at all. Haven't even begun yet. It's just the beginning.
I love it.
I think the word boss, can mean many things.
Yeah.
I think leader is better.
I love that.
Yeah.
A lot of people are anti-boss, and I'm okay with it.
You're pro-boss, obviously.
Well, I just think I think I like that name, but I understand that the word boss is viewed negatively these days. So what does being a young leader mean to you?
The ability to just be myself and hopefully inspire people by doing that.
Yeah. I think you're inspiring a lot of people. So what do you think the hardest part about owning a business is?
The amount of opportunities there are. So when you start a business, you get reached out to everybody. You get reached out from, agencies that want to do your marketing or social media companies that want to handle your social media.
Yep.
You really need to be laser focused on what you want to do and not what the outside world wants you to do.
Yeah.
And that was the hardest part for us when we started. We just got approached by everybody to get to the next level. Yeah. So I think the amount of opportunities is the biggest difficulty.
Having a super clear vision helps you stay on that path.
Exactly.
I love that. Okay, good. It is tough. I mean, every time I go to, they always joke, right? Like, especially visionaries, I feel like when you go to different like events or stuff, I'll come home and I'll be like, we need to do this with our marketing and this with operations and we need to do this. And they're like, slow down. This is like 10 different directions at one time. And I'm like, well, it's working for everyone else. It should be working for us.
And then your team looks at it and they're like, we can't do everything.
Yeah, they're like, pick a lane, babe.
We're the same way. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
You got it. Well, how do people find out more about the Nucleus Network?
From this podcast. Yeah. Listen to this podcast. That's what's most important. You have to be here. My personal is at Jake Fleshner on all different social media accounts, especially LinkedIn. Check out the LinkedIn.
Yes.
At the Nucleus Network on LinkedIn and Instagram.
Yeah.
My business partner's at Michael Axman. He's so much cooler than me. I highly recommend you just interact with him. He's the man. And yeah, that's basically it.
Okay. And if some of our listeners want to join, they give you a call to see if they're the right fit?
TheNucleusNetwork.com.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it was really great. Thanks for listening to another episode of Young Boss with your host, Isabelle Guarino. Be sure to like, share, and follow on Instagram and TikTok, and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. And let us know, have you been chasing a shiny penny? We'll see you next time.